Alright, yo, what's good? Vicious, chilling with my boy Miguez, Boogie Brass. Yo, tell them what's up, bro.
Yo, man, I heard a lot of stories been going around with Supernatural saying that I'm a part of them and shit. I mean, I roll with them, I do things sometimes, but I'm not down with the crew. And if I see Dizzy again, yo, I'ma smoke his ass.
Oh!
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another one of my weekly B-Boy vlogs about everything and anything to do with breaking and the culture. Episode number 51. This specific B-Boy beef episode is about yours truly versus a legend in the breaking scene and a pioneer of what we today call the Toronto style. None other than Miguez of the Boogie Brats. The video you just saw in the opening was a video posted to Instagram by B-Boy Vicious of Sweet Technique, who also reps Flavor Squad and Boogie Brats. The vid features Miguez, who is correcting the record, saying that I am falsely claiming that he is down in Supernaturals and that next time he sees me, he's gonna smoke me. Now, I was gonna make this vlog right after that video was uploaded, but I wanted to give some time for it to blow over and to think before making this video, because Toronto City has a long history of beef and drama which has settled down recently. Well, after I left and moved to Korea. However, for the sake of my own rep, I need to give a little context and backstory to that whole call out, which sparked quite a bit of behind the scenes trash talking. Firstly, the Toronto B-Boy beef saga stemmed from a peculiar history between myself and Miguez. In 1995, I first met the Supernaturals crew in an old community center in the hood called Parkdale. The person who vouched me into Supernaturals was Miguez. A lot of people don't know that Miguez used to be in Supernaturals crew in the beginning, where he and I were partners in breaking. Now, without going too much into detail, for particular reasons, he decided to leave and join Boogie Brats in '96. There is no question that in Boogie Brats, did he really improve and build his international reputation. Where the beef comes from is when I organized my first event in 1999 called Back to the Underground. Towards the end of the event, Miguez and his new squad came to the event where a battle sparked off between our crews. During that battle, me and Miguez often went head to head, replying to one another. At one point, the battle started getting heated. Miguez started calling us biters. Now, in these days, calling someone a biter is considered a battle tactic, but back in those days, it was taken pretty seriously. Even at one point, the godfather of our crew and the Toronto style named Lego gave Migas props but said, "You know where you got your style from?" To which Migas said, "Who?" Then Lego pointed to himself. Towards the end of the battle, Migas got a little too close to me, and of course my homies, who aren't even b-boys, sorta checked him. That moment was the beginning of a long, drawn-out b-boy beef war in Toronto that lasted over 10 years. I don't want to go into detail how badly this beef played out, but quite a few times it didn't exactly end in a peace, love, unity kind of way. Now, I'm intentionally leaving out names because there's no point in bringing up names as we all grew up and hopefully grew out of it. I'm guilty of being a punk. Now, the main beef escalated over the complex illusion threading style, which had many names such as thread styles, super threads, and origami, and more importantly, where did that type of approach to threads come from? The claim was that we, Supernatural's crew, bit the style from Migas. So there are only two possible answers to this story. One, Migas was in Supernatural's crew, then left to join Boogie Brats, created the style where the rest of Supernaturals later decided to copy him. Or, theory number two, Migas was in Supernatural's crew where the thread style began. When he left to join Boogie Brats, he further developed his threading style. Now those are the two narratives. You can decide what makes sense. Either Migas took the thread style to Boogie Brats where he continued to develop, or they originated it in Boogie Brats, then Supernats decided to bite it later and get good at it. Now, I've always been the kind of person to stick up for what I truly believe in. Both me and Migas, we weren't doing much threads or illusion legwork, but for our first generation crew member Lego, that was his style. I think me and Migas were just way younger and more flexible to develop the style further. We were both 16 while he was 24. Now we are both 38 and he is 46. Either way, after a long online discussion and debate on a Toronto forum with other T.OGs, we decided to make it not a Supernats or Boogie Brats thing, but rather a Toronto thing, hence why I began teaching it worldwide as the Toronto style. Now, in 2005, I had a life-changing God encounter which completely changed me from the inside out. It wasn't overnight, but finally in 2009, I made the effort to meet up with Migas and just talk everything out, squash all the beef, and in 2010, I moved to Korea with my wife. Now, while I was gone and have been gone, I was happy to hear that Migas was still kicking it with the original members of our crew. I was even happier to hear that he was back in Supernaturals, kind of like the prodigal son returns. I would periodically see pictures of the crew with Migas together, and I even came back for a Supernats anniversary where Migas partaked in. However, I did find it strange because other Toronto people didn't want to believe that Migas was back in Supernats. They claimed that he may not be in the right mind frame, but in more recent times has now received treatment and from what I know is doing a lot better as long as he stays clean and away from any mind-altering substances. He's fine. Now, I am just paraphrasing the history between me and Migas, but I went way more into details in my book called Tao of the B-Boy, where I talk about my B-Boy journey, the struggles I endured, how I overcame and made me into who I am today, and the important lessons that I learned. A huge portion of my story is all about Migas. Anyway, in the end, Migas has been a legend and inspiration to countless B-Boys around the world, even though due to his condition he hasn't been active since the early 2000s. I sincerely think that everyone just wants the best for him, as so do we, and I've been happy to see him continually kick it with the old members of my crew. I was led to believe that he was down. Now recently, on Instagram, B-Boy historian Jungth, aka Korean Rock, posted a clip of Migas back at Lords of the Floor 2001, and I commented that he is back once again with Supernaturals. This led Vicious posting the video with Migas, and imagine to my honest surprise saying that he isn't down with our crew, which to be honest is fine with me. He already left us back in 96 and we were able to build our rep on our own. To be real, I'll always have love for Migas. No homo. But about what he said about next time he sees me, he's gonna smoke me, man, I love that. Migas has been inactive for a while, so he doesn't know that B-Boys are all politically correct now and scared to cause beef since everyone works with each other here and there. But that raw attitude that Migas has is what a B-Boy is all about. To be honest, he might even be joking. When I see him, he might be like, "Yo, what's up, Dizzy?" Or he might actually try and smoke me. And that could end up in two different ways. One, the great Migas returns and smokes the big bad Dizzy, who has been active and quite consistent throughout the 20 plus years on the scene. Or the great Migas returns and not at the prime that people remember, and worse, gets burned by the big bad Dizzy, putting a dent on his infamous legacy. Stay tuned to see how fate plays itself out.